Hello, and welcome back to Aldea. In this episode, we're going to be creating a new neighborhood down on the lakeshore. We're going to be building out Lavoy. In our last episode, we created a worker shortage by adding a whole bunch of industry across the harbor and the portlands. And now that industry needs workers, and those workers need someplace to live. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode. So come join me, and let's house the people of Aldea. So we've added new industry over here in the portlands, but we're back to being short workers. So we're going to go over here to Lavoy and put in some new housing. And I've already cleared this land. I actually had already built some stuff here, but then I hated the result. So I mulliganed the whole thing and threw it all out. So we're going to try this again. And I think the kind of key thing I want to do different this time around is see this kind of ridge line here. I'm thinking I want the foot of my new buildings, the backyards, to line up here. We're going to have higher density down here near the beach and the old lake. And as you kind of go up this gentle hill, it'll be old style row houses. So I'm going to start by putting in the back, because then I think that will help inform the front. And it's kind of what I did wrong the first time with this. So that is 4 deep. I'm going to put down this road, and then I'm going to just drop a building to see what that looks like. One of the row houses that I want to use. Something like this. What does that do to the slope? That's pretty perfect. It puts a little bit more of a... It actually kind of spreads it out. So yeah, that's what we're going to go for. So we really want that. That's our buffer back there along the train tracks. So I'm going to go ahead and follow the tracks and bring this road all the way around. Probably about here we're going to want to start to bend. I'm going to turn that into a proper curve in a moment. This is basically just a construction line. In fact, I think maybe we should come from this side. We'll need to bend again. There. It's got the kind of upper ring road. And I want to take it under the bridge and connect up here. So that I think is pretty good. There is a bit of a challenge where this road bends. You know, I could have a grid that just kind of bends with that, like take this street, mirror this bend, and basically have that street consistent across. Or the grid could change direction right here. We could have a kind of a gap area. And I'm not quite sure which one's best, honestly. Definitely want to come up the hill. I'm going to turn the rain off. Kind of just gets in the way. Rain, rain, go away. Come again when I'm not recording. Okay, so if we kept the grid on the hill, what would that look like? Be here. Take out this and make it bend. Maybe we throw in one street that kind of comes off angle. I kind of like that, actually. Okay. So I think... do we want a little street here too? See, we could do that. Do we like that? That's the question. I think I could do, but I think this street now, it juts out too far. It's better to have a more expansive backyard, I think, for these properties than that curve. I think that's a little better. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. And we're not going to worry about park green space up here, because what we're going to do for park green space eventually in this neighborhood is it's going to be all down here along the lake. We're going to put some schools over here. This is going to be residential. Might have some commercial along this main road. We're going to get rid of these traffic lights, so we don't need them for those side streets. And probably we should set the priority to the main road. Want a traffic light? We don't need a traffic light over here either. There we go. We're back. Get our street set up. I don't know what that bus is doing down here. Maybe we'll leave one traffic light there for now, since there's apparently a bus that wants one of the routes wants to turn here. Now, I think we'll start at the top here, and we'll put in a bunch of old row houses. So I think I'm gonna go do some plopping. I'm gonna use Smilies' pack here of row houses, which are just so charming. Versatile too, because they actually do have minor details that change each time you kind of plop. There's a couple different variations of each one in terms of color, for the bricks themselves, the windows, all sorts of small little things that just give so much life. He is one of my favorite custom content creators, that's for sure. Alright, now I'm going to move them so that they're actually wall to wall, so bear with me for a moment. This can get tedious. They must have power already from over the tracks, since they're not yelling at me. Aren't those lovely? One of my favorite assets. Oh, some minor elevation adjustments. How they look on the backyard there. Nice. No problem there with the neighbor. I probably could have actually put this street closer and then just moved it further away down there. So now that we have some of these, I also want to sprinkle in, I think it's Dartwood's row houses. They pair really well with this set, actually. Maybe some of these Queens ones as well. Make my life a little easier. We'll say 1 tile wide only, please. Here we are. See, I think these work pretty well in terms of scale, height, size, all that good stuff. So I'm going to drop a couple of these along these areas too. All right, so that gives us a little bit of extra variety. And now I'm going to use Smilies row houses to fill in the rest. back just a little to match. Apparently slide them over a little bit too. There we go. I'll grab a different section, copy that over here as well. Could probably just bring the whole thing, but trying to randomize it a little bit. And we'll put in a set of these. Just kind of something that's on theme, but just a little bit different. Nice window flowers on this one. It's a kind of thing that's today in many cities super gentrified or super depressed. It often doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of space in between for the American row house. There, we'll leave a little gap there to, get to the backyards. It's starting to be a street. So in here, do we do more of the same, or do we put in something else? We could go with some of these. I'm gonna just, I think I'll, maybe we'll put in one or two of these ones from Queens. They don't have much in the way of backyards, actually. Well, that one does. It's a little deeper. Copy these ones over here. We'll pair them up with these, I think. That'll work reasonably well. Okay. And move these over like that. Now, put in one more of these or another one of those. In fact, these should go back even further. That's looking pretty snazzy. What else do we need in terms of row houses? Besides just repetition, repetition, repetition. With row houses, more is better. These things just ooze character. We'll fill in this section. See, these guys, they work well with these. I'm probably being a little more precious about these than I need to, when I'm sure if I just start copying from the big line I already made, it would turn out fine. But I would know that they're not fully random. Joys of being somewhat OCD about things. We'll say attention to detail. That's what we're going for. It's an art. Well, maybe anyway. They are pretty. Might not be able to fit 2 in here. We'll see. Oh, not quite. We'll make that work. Make that work by moving this line down a little bit. Just a little. And then these ones, which they're off kilter there, they're off kilter on this side. They need to go back. Could be Baltimore. This line actually starts to move further away along the way here. I'm gonna make an adjustment. Send these back just a touch. I think it's time to throw in some of the taller ones that we used a little bit of. If you don't bend them too much, you can kind of get away with managing a bit of a curve there. So this one, is starting to bend to meet the curve in the road. I'm going to shove these this way. We'll plop the next one more of these just to see if we can finish that transition. This one is even less curved. And then these guys are just straight on the street. There. If you're out on the street, you can just kind of see that there is a bit of a bend to them as they come into this curve. So we'll probably do the same over here, but probably do that with shorter ones. Just a little, some height, just to kind of break things up. In my home, we have the equivalent of this kind of housing, but it's all made of wood. Not a whole lot of brick. Where I am, maritime climate, needs to breathe. Brick doesn't do so well in my neck of the woods. But it's kind of interesting because pretty much wherever you are, there's some equivalent of this kind of housing. That's means to an end. Not too fancy. These ones don't bend as well as their other neighbor did because of those roof lines. It'd be better if I used... We're going to get rid of this one. Or shift them over anyway. It'd be better to use one that has the gap in the back on the other side. There. Might need to do the same thing here. Yeah, we do kind of do. So we want one of them that's bent the other direction. Trying to make this curve, but I think the curve is greater than the tolerance of the buildings. So these ones have a bit of a bend, but it's not gonna be enough. I'm gonna leave a gap at this spot. Push these back just a little to follow that straight line. There we go. We've got one whole side of the street done. And it's looking pretty good. Very Americana. Baltimore, Troy, whatever you want, whatever city you want to pick in the kind of New England, industrial USA. Different architecture in Canada, but not that far off. So I think we will replicate that in some form on the other side of the street, because it'd be weird to have that all on one side. But I want to put down some different sort of style on this block. I like this set by Smilies, oh, maybe I'll get distracted here and use these for a second. These are a nice little set. Bit of a side trip. That wasn't what I was looking for, but I do like those ones too. Only thing is they don't have a good corner piece. There, those look good. Now I want to use similar sort of vibe, but different. There's another set by Smilies. I think they're Smilies anyway. These Montreal Rowhouses, I quite like them. So I think we're going to use some of these. Piece of old Montreal. There we go. Need to get a decal for that one. For some reason, that one it's kind of broken. I've never bothered going to the asset editor to fix it either. Actually, let's move this one up to here. We'll leave a little gap at that spot instead. I think we should put some of them on the other side of the street as well. Although maybe not. I bet you they're going to contort the terrain pretty badly. They kind of are. I think probably whatever goes on this side should only be 3 deep. Whereas these ones are 4. And just so I have space to work with the higher density down in the bottom. I suppose I could move the whole street up a little bit because I do have a little bit of space to spare. And if I'm replicating these, I only need 3 tiles. Just take every node and move it up. Could do it that way. Alright, I'm going to try and shift everything up. Okay, how much more room did that give us to work with? Basically a whole row, so that'll help when we're doing the larger buildings down here to even out that slope. And up here, it doesn't matter because we're using 1x3s. Shouldn't, anyway. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cheat a little here. Adjusting those front steps. I think that's good. Instant neighborhood there. Plop them all in. I'm going to use some more of these tall ones, I think, on this section. Maybe we'll sprinkle in a couple of these. There, that's looking pretty good. One more of these little ones. And that's looking like a neighborhood. What's our population up to? 790. Little row homes add up. I think on this side. Oh, maybe we'll mix it up even further. Do a string of these. Now these ones, like this one in particular, that to me is Toronto through and through. There, how do the steps look? I think they're all pretty good, such as you can see in the shadow. There we go. I'll put this one on the end. See that, or get rid of it. Then we'll go back to some flat roofs. Looking pretty good. We'll put in some of these because they have nice. There's a nice corner piece with those ones. I'll put the corner in right now, like the bay window on the side. That's a decent slope in the backyard there. You know, it's not out of control, especially when I'll put some landscaping on it and it'll kind of just disappear. That's the one danger of plopping them. I forgot there was one underneath. Well, that won't do. Dive under rather than go up above. There. That's pretty good. I kind of like that this side of the street it gets taller because we're working our way down the hill. That's great. I do love the row houses. They might just be my favorite. Okay. Though I guess I'm going to check the population, see how we're doing. 875. And down on the street here, we'll put in something large. Large and maybe modern. Well, it's not quite modern, but it is. How does that do with the elevation? Oh, perfect. We left our move is shifting these up, create enough room to have something reasonable happen here. Add that one in there since it's such a nice corner piece. In the old row house area. Too big for up here. I think we'll do maybe an old school. Yeah, let's go with that. And maybe that'll set us up for, that's too big. Old luxury across from the beach. This one's got a nice commercial kind of looking front. We'll probably have to dig out some signage for it. Quite a blank wall on it, which is not going to work here. We could up against the other one. Quite a set, actually. That one doesn't. Well, unless. No, it doesn't quite work. And we'll use the surface painter to fix up this corner. Put a planter in there, some landscaping. That'll work. Oh, that's a commercial building with a lot of workers. And that one's an office building with a lot of workers. I thought it was on the residential tab. Well, that's going to undermine the worker goal. Indeed it did. 17,760 jobs. Oh well. I kind of like them too much to demolish it. Now we are on strictly residential. I think on this block, we'll go ahead and we'll do some, how does that work? Can we raise that down to make that doorway make some sense without it sinking too much on the other side? I think that's okay. This one will back off from the corner just a little. And we'll probably actually want to shift these down the hill because it hasn't left any space along there for a setback on this street. Which is just fine because we actually have the space. Now, I think we'll put in a few, if I come across, unless I get distracted here as I scroll through. Oh, I don't kind of like how that one plays. The block gets narrower up here. So we're going to need narrower lots to avoid the hill looking ridiculous. Bit of kind of modernity right there. These actually might be a good other opposite side of the street up here. You know what? I think they are. Some point along the way, infill arrived. I was thinking, you know what, maybe we'll take out this corner. I had been thinking that we might want some significant density down here. Actually, this one would pair really well up here with this guy. Peas in a pod. Really looking for modern kind of high rise. How does that work? That isn't good. Unfortunately, you can't have that kind of wall facing out onto the main public area. How about you? You're not quite as good a fit. Something that faces the street but also hugs up. These are all the variations of the same. Oh, now that. Now we're kind of talking. There we go. We found a winner in that one. Probably gonna have to downgrade its wealth. It's probably a size. No, it's only stage 2. It's only if there are multiple problems. Well, what if we give you a bus route? This bus should be stopping down here anyway. The Portland's bus should stop there on the way out as well. Oh, no. That kind of looks pretty good from this side. Ignore the door. I'm just going to play with this for a second. How's it look in the back? Total mess. No, too bad. I think I can get rid of that one too. Do something else over there. How's that? Oh, that's pretty good. A little bit of separation. These ones up here need some tinkering with. Probably stage 3 is where they'll be happy. At least, I mean, once I get the park and the school and everything else in down here. So they don't have health. Fire doesn't quite reach down here. Police sort of touches it. Probably should put in a fire hall. Fire hall is a big radius. So we only have 23 of 94 households, so that will suck up some residential demand for a little while there. Just to hope. This one's not fully moved in yet either. Fire hall is something they all wanted. They're all leveling up now. What about health? We don't have healthcare down here. I did download some alternatives to the base game clinic. So this is the Lavoy clinic. And the Lavoy fire station. I feel like this house is kind of crowding the health center. Pave that and maybe put some parking in. Oh, they're still mad about services down here. What if I just level them down? Oh, actually it leveled the... Oh, well. It changed the building, but that building actually could work. Kind of putting all the services in this spot. So I have a police station, a medical clinic, the fire hall. Should more or less cover the area. So we do the schools over here. What's our population now? 2,100. In all the plopping of these row homes, we got to maybe 1,000. Yeah, a couple dense buildings and boom. You're up on the hill. That view has changed. You got these guys. I feel like this one, these two in particular, if you were up here, you wouldn't be too pleased about when they were proposed. But nobody owns a view. some modern infill. I do like to do a mix. Looks like they need to be edged over just a touch. We're gonna go with this developer kept these ones low to not block the views of that place. Oh, we're out of water. Well, I'm gonna put a cut here and figure out what I'm gonna do with that. So I decided instead of cutting off here to go build some water infrastructure, I just throw a water tower out here so that we can finish up this kind of section that I started. So the next episode, I'll actually fix the water situation for real. For now, we're just going to buy some time. So there, now we'll have all the water we need, and we can get back to building this out. So I'm going to finish this block here. And we're just gonna lift from over here to do that. Random enough. I'll just grab one of these. There. Pretty good. So what do we want to do with this next row down? These guys are pretty good, but they work better with... that will actually work. I was going to say they work better with flat ground, but that spot will be okay. That pretty much makes enough room here. That'll work. How about these? It doesn't cooperate well with hills. There. I would say that's looking pretty good. And now we have to figure out what I think. I think picking out the 1x2s, which are a lot of these sloped roof ones, and filling that up on the slope. Probably our best bet here. Well, we can use some of these too, actually. That's too hard an angle, apparently, on the back. I think we'll just leave a gap. There. We'll just copy some of these ones over to this space. There. I think that's pretty much set. And we got this. These ones make better corners. Okay, so since we've done that, we can, and built in a tile's worth of buffer, this lets us potentially put larger buildings down here. Those are pretty good. I mean, I could, well, this one could go You know, I could just cover up that side. See what we have in terms of modern stuff, since we already have. Too big. That's kind of downtown. Use this one a bunch. I do like it. We'll put it over on this side. Yeah, that'll work. Nice corner one. What if we shift this one and leave room for an alley, because then the alley can be accessed by both of those. Although it kind of, with this street frontage, it kind of says it should be kind of here on the corner, but then there's probably too much elevation. Yeah. Let's keep looking. I don't like that one either. I like the building, just not in that one spot. Like those two together. Oh, now that one. Oh, it's, well, I'll slide it over a little bit. It's got a good kind of courtyard thing, half built. So we've got this little corner here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And then we'll put another one of this in the same style on the hill. So that it's like one building, but it's not. Well, that one doesn't quite work. This one's pretty good, though. We could put that one there. There. Some landscaping and ground cleanup, but that's pretty good. Almost 3,000 people here. So same thing, we're going to put some density down along the main road here, and then we're going to do row houses up above. Over here, we actually need the 1x2s again. And we could do some modern ones just to mix it up a little bit. Say there's limits as to how far we can kind of push these in terms of contorting the terrain. I think that's probably it, and then we'll put some down on that level. There. Some old and new. Put a fence along this, I think. How many more of these do you think I can fit? These ones need a little shove over to their neighbor there. I think that's the limit of what this land can stand. Okay. Where are we at population-wise? Curiosity. 3,392. That one's not quite full. Still some room. Those ones are full. There's still a little bit of room in some of these. This one here. That one. And the big one here. Same with its neighbor. Although I've found that, they don't always full right to the top. I kind of don't really know in game what makes some of them like keep a few units empty all the time. So I think on this block we can go back to 1x3. Maybe we'll take some more of those. We'll just copy this block. There we go. There. What we want to do, probably another set of these to wrap up the block. use some of the ones with porches. We won't actually be keeping those underneath the bridge. I'm just kind of putting them there as placeholders so I can shift them as I need. There. And we'll bring in some porches. There, I think that's as close to the bridge as we'll get. Be a pretty noisy house, this one. If it's anything like the bridge in my community that has a residential neighborhood underneath, you can just hear the cars as they go across. But maybe it's cheaper housing as a result, which has some benefit even if it's not as good. Alright. So these ones in here, I think maybe it's a good spot for some of these Bronx apartments. I don't want to get too big. And we'll say a 3x4. And we'll shift them all over just a little. That'll round this out. Since they're all peas in a pod. Well, I'd say that is a wrap for this episode. We have added a fair bit of housing, 3,600 people. Where does that put our jobs at? We actually have some unemployment, 17,854 jobs to 17,600 residents. So we brought those closer into balance. I think this is pretty good. I'm glad I mulliganed the first attempt because this feels much better. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll close out with a cinematic.